Parker, please.
Good morning, Mr. Thompson.
Good morning.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. Second offense. This is a Class A misdemeanor. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. It looks like it's being reduced to a first, right? So now you're...
Okay, real talk. That reduction to a first might sound like a break, but don't be fooled. Legally, it still counts as number 2. The court's giving you a lighter glove, not a clean slate. And remember, 3 strikes, you're not just out, you're potentially doing a decade in prison.
And or a $2,000 fine. But what you need to understand still in the eyes of the law, this is number 2. And if you pick up another one, you'll be facing a third, and a third, you're facing up to 2 years in prison, up to 10 years in prison, minimum of 2, maximum of 10. If I were you, even if you've had a freaking sip of alcohol, I wouldn't get into a car because you're taking a humongous risk. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All officers look, if you smell funky and then they look at your record, that's all they care about. You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will go on your record. You can never take it off. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is what you want to do.
Yes, Your Honor.
For you to complete this, you're entering into a probation with us. It's going to go on your record. This is a straight probation. And for you to complete it successfully, you must do a repeat offender DWI education class. 2 victim impact panels, a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. If they assess further conditions, they might. It could be intensive outpatient treatment. It could be supportive outpatient treatment. If they assess further conditions, you must fulfill those conditions. No breath test refusal. So if you were pulled over in a car and you take a breath, an officer asks you to take a breath test, you have to do it. If you don't, you're in violation of the probation. Substance abuse treatment, $100 one-time donation to MAD, no drugs, no alcohol, and a guardian interlock.
Here it comes, the moment of truth. But before he pleads guilty, remember, this decision is like sealing an envelope you can never reopen. There's no just kidding in criminal court. Once it's in the record, it's there forever. You ready to roll that dice?
Is this how you understand the agreement?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I will find you guilty. I will send it you to the agreement. What do you do in life, Mr. Thompson?
Bartending at a hotel.
Ugh, that's not good.
Judge, he's been on interlock for almost a year now. Portable device blown 3 times a day. He hasn't had 1 failed test.
Right.
He has, yeah, so he's been doing very well.
My only issue is that temptation is so high when you work in that kind of environment. You know, when you work in the restaurant industry, everyone tends to booze it up. You just got to be very careful, you know. For the next 18 months, you're on paper. You can't do anything. You end up drinking, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to put you in jail. I'm going to bring you back out here, and we're going to talk. And it's possible I sentence you and put you in jail for 6 months. You understand?
I understand, yes, sir.
But the most important thing is that for the next 50 years of your life, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, I wouldn't get into a car and drive because you're going to get hosed. If you thought it was expensive now, wait till you get to felony court. Everything quadruples in cost, time, everything. So what about the fee?
Fine.
Yeah.
For the, on probation?
No. There's a supervisory fee for the DPS surcharge. It's a $6,000 fee.
Attached to a probation? I thought that was only for a straight conviction, Judge. On a jail time.
It is a conviction.
On a jail time conviction. The state traffic funds for a jail time conviction.
Show me. But from what I understand, with this kind of case, there's a $6,000 surcharge that we're supposed to tack on.
I
The DPS
was
surcharge.
under the impression that the
Show me otherwise, and I
mandatory
won't.
license suspension.
When what they've told me on convictions here, when you plead to a DWI, there's a surcharge. On a first, it's $3,000. On a 15 with a first, it's $4,500. On a second DWI, it's a $6,000
But
surcharge.
technically, because this is charged as a first,
Right, it's, no, you're right. It's 3,000. Is this a 15?
is it a what? How's it flip?
Yeah, it is. Is it true or untrue that you had a .15 or above?
Yes, Your Honor.
So true to that enhancement then? Yeah. Okay. So find me that it's not true. Otherwise, I'm, just show me. Or just take a seat for me. We'll be back.
Looking at that, here. Be right back.
Owen. Hi.
Because we have an arraignment from Court 6
Okay.
that we He's a Spanish speaker and we have an interpreter here. The case number is 254 4648.
Por favor, conteste a voz alta.
De La Paz.
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
Mr. De La Paz, you are charged with driving while intoxicated.
I'm so sorry.
Are you ready?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Mr. De La Paz, you are charged with driving while intoxicated. Second offense. You are facing up.
Sleeping at an intersection, engine running, foot on the brake. This is a courtroom horror story for defense attorneys. And with 2 open beers right there in console, yikes. Question for you. Should the law treat this as more dangerous than just speeding or texting while driving? Sound off in the comments.
And/or a $4,000 fine. It's also alleged that you had a breath alcohol of a .15 or above.
Sorry, the punto
Shh.
5.
We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. On December 23rd, 2024, the officer observed a stalled vehicle with the defendant behind the wheel asleep at an intersection. The defendant had his foot on the brake, and the vehicle was on and in drive. The officer observed 2 beer bottles in the center console, one half empty.
Drinking
And the-
while driving.
The officer observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, watery eyes, slurred speech, and swaying. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN 4 out of 6, one leg stand 2 out of 4, walk and turn 5 out of 8. The DIC was read, and the defendant consented to breath. The results were .159 and .153.
Mr. De La Paz, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I am now taking away your privilege to drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive. I don't give a rat's behind what your excuse is. If I find that you drive, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. Do you understand? I don't care if you school, groceries, work, kids. I don't care. You drive, you will stay with me, possibly for a very long time. I don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission and you go to jail and immigration finds you, it's very possible they put an immigration detainer on you and you will be stuck like Chuck in custody until this case is over with, and then you will be shipped off to immigration. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
I'm also ordering you, as a condition of your bond, not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to put a Scram ankle monitor on you so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. You consume alcohol, into jail you will go. No more PR bonds for you. We need to do the guardian interlock paperwork. Is there someone here from Court 6?
I don't know what their schedule is, but they're There are pretrial officers to be here.
Is Shelby here? Today?
Caitlin's covering.
Caitlin? Okay.
That's why I asked them if they had stuff.
So, Owen.
Judge, their pretrial officer came in and I saw her talking.
Yes, I wrote down the conditions. I'm gonna create a document, send it over to 6 News, and then we'll do everything.
Mr. De La Paz, let me make something abundantly clear to you. I am now entering paperwork and I'm sending this guardian interlock paperwork to Austin, and I'm filing it with the Texas Department of Public Safety. Every single officer in the state will know that you were required and not allowed to drive a vehicle that doesn't have an interlock. If you were caught driving a vehicle, it doesn't have an interlock on it, and you were pulled over, an officer is going to put you in jail. If I find that you drive, and I don't care what your excuse is, in violation of this affidavit, there will be hell to pay. Do you understand? All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Owen. Your money.
Hey, Judge.
Go on up.
I got several cases, sorry.
Let's do it.
You want to start with Mr. Martinez?
No.
Okay, I gotta
Let's
show
do
you some stuff.
happy stuff first.
Okay, Jaquan Davis, it's an older case. They shared some stuff with me yesterday. That's just pics. There is an assault case as well. They are still trying to locate the complaining witness. I haven't been on it that long.
Okay. It's nevertheless really, really old. What say you, Morgan? Are you?
Judge, I'm kind of been in contact with Kelsey about this case, just given its age. We were able to get in contact with the complainant on the harassing case, but as for the AFM, we've, tasked our investigator, we've tried TLO numbers. I emailed her and I haven't heard anything back. So I think that we're probably just going to try to.
I would like to give you a sufficient amount of time because I know it's old and I don't want to take it out on you and I want to give you enough time. But at some point we got to say when.
Yeah, I understand. I just talked to Greg about it a little bit and I think we're just going to kind of talk to Kelsey, to Chief right now, actually.
What's reasonable, you think, Kelsey, as far as time wise? Giving,
Maybe 2 weeks?
I mean, I was going to give you a little bit more, but.
Oh, and more, great.
But I mean, like, I want to set like a limit, right? To where, we don't just beat a dead horse. So at some point, if you're not going to find her or him, whoever it is, you're not going to find him. So about 30 and that's it. If it's not found by that time, do your best.
Can I get his appearance waived or do you want him here in case we settle?
His case is 1,022 days old. He's picked up multiple cases.
For me, it's like.
I'm not waiving his appearance at
For
all.
me, it's like 30 days old.
I got it. And I'm not,
Okay.
but because of him, he's taken off. I'm not going to give him any grace. No. He's going to have to be here. And if he doesn't, then.
Fair enough.
Okay, who's next?
I have another one, Michael Trevor Maines. I'm still waiting on discovery, pretty new. I don't know that I need to ask. Since I'm up here, I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Okay. Then obviously we have Mr. Martinez. I was appointed to 3 new ones. Do you want to go over those? See if we need to do
You
anything?
need me on those?
I'll come back if I do. Then I just have Martinez.
Okay. Come up, Mr. Martinez.
Page 11.
And it's BVR. I do have some documentation of some stuff and he did contact.
I am so unhappy with you, Mr. Martinez. I don't think I can even freaking see straight. You have a theft of a firearm, a driving while intoxicated, a failure to identify oneself to a peace officer as a fugitive from justice, a theft case, an evading case. And I put strict bond conditions on you, and now you're here with a violation. Enlighten me, Greg.
So if I don't have the BVR in front of me.
Let me give it to you. Hold on.
If I'm not mistaken, however, the dates are the 23rd and 26th. Is that correct? Roughly.
I gave him a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew, and he got home at 10 o'clock on one day. And then another day, he took off as well.
Okay, so it does say here after he did go to the bail bondsman, okay? And he contacted them, let them know, so he was on his way home. So, I mean, Are they trying to ding him for a 9:36, 9:48 stop on the way home?
I think that there's plenty of times in the day that you can go visit your bail bondsman. It's not, you don't have to go at 10 o'clock at night.
I don't drive. I can't drive. And my wife gets out like at 7:30. She picks up the kids, and then I told her to take me, and that's the only
I've
time I
got
have.
concrete evidence right here on a GPS monitor.
He's saying his wife drove him to the bail bond and then they were on their way home.
Yeah, but I call every time. I
And then he didn't take off. It was an issue with his boot, and he did contact them, and they sent him a text to report to 49 San Jacinto to have the device inspected by a technician. And he responded to them, and he went in to get it correct. He wasn't trying to cut it off. He wasn't trying to break it. It was.
That's not the issue. The issue is that he's staying out late.
What? He went to the bail bondsman. He was going home.
Supposed to go. He has a curfew of 9 p.m. That's it. I don't care if you're going to visit Jesus. If a curfew is a curfew, and you're supposed to stick to the curfew.
When did you get out?
That's it.
It was like 2 weeks ago, man.
Can you download the
So
rest
this
of
is
the
when you
data?
got out on bond?
That was the
Alicia,
I need dates, man. What time? When did you get out on bond?
download the rest of the data. I'd like to see what else is going on with him.
For the violation?
It was December 14th, 15th.
No, since, I guess,
On 12/19.
since December, how's he been otherwise?
I can do that Thursday. It's gonna take a-
Take us.
What'd you do at that time?
That was the one time that
Nice. I'm gonna let you,
she gets out at 7:30. That's why.
Yeah, but why'd you go that time?
Greg,
Because that's one of the.
at the line, can you guys talk about it? Take a seat for me in the jury box,
Okay.
please. Eric.
Where's your wife?
Mr. Nelson, you were charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you
Quiet.
3 days in jail, credit for the 6 days that you've done. You need to understand this charge will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. This could be used now to enhance your punishment. From now on, you are facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. You understand? You're looking at a boatload of time as a minimum. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. Under federal law, you give up the right to appeal. So once you plead guilty, you can never change this.
Yes, sir.
This is what you want to do.
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the offense, sir?
Yes, sir.
I will find you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to it. I'll roll your court costs so you won't owe anything. As far as the weapon is concerned, I'm not going to put here to forfeit the weapon, but at some point, they're going to take it and they're going to make it into a manhole cover. They're not going to hold it forever. They got a property room and they only have so much room. So once you get in line for however long they're going to keep it, I have no idea. I've seen it. I think was it like 6 to 8 months? I've already had them giving us destructive orders. So if you're going to do it, I would get on it quick.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you,
Okay,
Judge.
guys. Good luck. You too. Thank you, Mr. Booker.
Ms. Nelson is the last of the young group that all went tested for the evading.
Come on up, Mr. Hunter.
I've actually already admonished and everything, Judge. He knows about.
So what did he test positive for, Felicia?
See, Judge?
No smoking weed.
Yes, sir.
Do not have anything that has weed in it. Do not hang out with people who are smoking. I don't care if you come in here and say, well, I was in a car and everybody else was smoking and that's how it goes. Excuses go in this here and they go out that here.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Make yourself into something. Knowledge is power.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck.
About 45
See,
days.
45 days. I'm going to test you again. Yeah. Dismiss
Dismiss
Ms. Vessel.
Right. And so these were her local cases. We're resolving it with time served, and she has a fugitive case.
You represent her on the fugitive?
Yes, Judge, and so she has a waiver on file, and so we're just trying to get the 14 days started.
All right. Good morning, Ms. Vessel. You're charged with failure to identify oneself as a fugitive from justice, so it elevates it to Class A, so you're facing up to a year in jail and a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 19 days credit for the 19 that you've done. You give up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization, you give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you cannot change this. What was the mischief?
Judge.
Window, car, tire.
It looks like a windshield and a car radio.
So how do you plead to this offense? Guilty or not guilty? Well, if you're not guilty, then we set you for trial. Did you actually mischief?
I plead guilty.
No. This isn't a game, Ms. Vessel. If you're guilty, then you plead. If you're not guilty, then don't plead guilty. If you didn't break anything, then.
Plead guilty, sir.
Did you actually break something?
I plead guilty, sir.
You,
It's been so long, I don't even remember what happened. Honestly, it's been 3 years ago. I don't remember what happened.
something's wrong.
It's from it's an offense dated January of 2022, Judge.
Oh, right. That's fine.
It's a bond forfeiture, Judge. Or actually, it was just as a 2B, in 2B status.
The argument started between her and the complaining witness while she was taking the defendant to a bus stop. During this argument, the defendant began to kick the vehicle radio with her left foot, causing it to break.
Yes, sir.
That's what this case is about.
Yes, sir.
Was it worth it?
So, no, sir, it was not.
I would say that probably 99% of the people who are in jail now, because no self-control. They get upset, they wig out, and they just unleash without thinking of consequence. That's why we have jails. If you get upset, you calm, cool, collective, and I bet you, had you just walked away and just, you know what? You probably would have made that person so mad because you act calm, cool, collective, and just, that's it. Be the better person. Walk away. Because now you've been in jail here for 19 days, another 2 weeks now because you got this fugitive case over there. Self-control. So how do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'm going to find you guilty. I will follow the agreement. As part, they're going to dismiss that new case, right? The failure to ID?
The fugitive case.
All right.
I mean, not the failure to ID, fugitive from justice.
Ms. Vessel, self-control. All right, good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Gene.
Judge, I have Norma Solano on your docket, and this is a PTI one, Judge, where she has the contract, she has the device. The last thing is I've been talking to Brenda Gomez about waiving the $300 fee, and they wanted her to get an affidavit together stating that she does not pay any of the bills of her household, and so I got that from her boyfriend.
Got it.
So I was going to submit that. Can I get 2 weeks, or do you want to give me a week?
No, a week.
A week, okay.
A week, because it's old.
And Judge, I have one more. I have Tristan Foster from yesterday's docket. He's bonded out, so I think, do you want him to come up and?
Please.
Mr. Foster, come on up.
So what time was he out on the felony case, Alex?
Felony case, Your Honor. Time.
Was it my friend?
Yes, you see a time. 2. One moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Foster, I'm now putting an ankle monitor on you and I'm giving you a curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. You pick up a third case, I'm going to light you up. Do you understand? You become a danger to my community. I only have one place for you. I will protect my community at all costs. Do you understand? If I find that you have a weapon, likewise, I will revoke this bond and I'm going to go nuts.
It was at 8:50, Your Honor, PM, so.
No alcohol, no dope. I don't want you out in the middle of the night and no contact with your co-defendant in that case. Do you understand?
So my co-defendant.
Correct. No contact. Do you understand? The person you were arrested with in the felony case. Take a seat for me. We'll be here with you momentarily.
Understand.
Is that it?
You sent him for drug test and he came,
THC, Judge.
he came back positive for THC, but we already knew that.
Okay, so let him know he gets tested again in 45. You get tested again in 45 days. You pick up a new case, you start acting out of line, you're gonna stay with me. And I'm telling you, jail is not fun for a young one. Do you understand? Imagine your worst nightmare. It's worse. Okay, all right, Carl.
Judge, you gave him a curfew from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah,
I talked to him and he indicated that it's not a problem. His parents apparently.
where's mom?
She's not here. She's in the building somewhere, but they indicated that to the pretrial officer that might be a problem. So do we do?
Say it again?
They indicated to the pretrial officer that may be a problem. So I'm not sure why.
Okay, if you find mom, let me know and I'll talk to mom.
You work also? 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. is fine. Shouldn't be a problem.
All right,
Have a seat,
man.
Have a seat. How are you?